For so many people today, there is no real dinner without a dessert to end the meal with. The word dessert was derived from a French country, specifically France, during the 17th century. It was more of a tradition for the French to end every meal with a dessert. Dessert is an appetizer that is served after every meal, especially dinner. It is in form of ice cream, chocolate, fruits, and so on. Hello and welcome to another interesting episode on Showcase. My name is Rahina Shehu Abdullahi, and on today's episode, I'll be showing you the process of making desserts and talking about dessert as a business in case you want to start up a dessert business. I have a caterer with me in the house that will be putting us through this process. Sit tight and learn one or two.
The word dessert emerged in the 17th century, derived from the French verb déserver, meaning to clear the table in English. Etiquette dictated that napkins and tablecloths can be changed before the final course, which at the time was a delicate fruit course. In a courtly context, the course itself was known as le fruit, but the bourgeoisie renamed it dessert. After the French Revolution, the aristocratic fruit was fully replaced by dessert. In the 17th and 18th centuries, it was mostly fruit-based treats, often using jams and preserves. A host might also serve cookies, marzipan, meringues, or frozen desserts. Slowly, though, the flavor of desserts became less important than their visual presentation. The dessert course might consist of elegant metal and glass structures holding whole apples or plums. Other times, meticulously crafted sugar figures became the center of dessert displays and might not be eaten at all. Dessert specialists in the 18th century were supposed to understand the architectural design and be capable of replicating it in sugar paste. In the late 18th and early 19th century, technology and trade also opened up more possibilities for populist sweets. Sugar was more widely available and mechanical refrigeration could keep butter at a consistent temperature, making pastry simpler. By the late 19th century, attractive and delicious desserts like almond cakes, cream puffs, and fruit tarts were a minor luxury available as a special treat even to the lower classes. Today, of course, sugar is cheap enough that downscale, mass-produced versions of French confections are easily available to people all over the world, at significant cost to human health. Still, depending on your tastes, a creamy ho-ho or hostess fruit pie might feel like a real step up from a plum served on a fancy metal sculpture.
My name is Hussaina Ibrahim Omar. I was born in Bauchi State, Katagum local government. I attended from my primary school in Abuja, Unity Montessori Nursery and Primary School. I graduated from St. Louis Secondary School in Kano, after which I moved to Ahmadu Bello University, where I studied computer science. I am married with 3 kids. Yeah, and I live in Abuja, and I'm currently running my business in Abuja. I loved catering. As I said, I loved cooking, so I loved catering a lot. I went to several catering schools before I got married, but the baking aspect was what I wasn't really into until after I got married. I was looking forward to do then my husband advised me to venture into baking, because he had a friend who was into the business at the time, desserts to be precise. She was doing desserts, and he actually saw a potential in the business she was doing, so he advised me to take a class with her. I was reluctant at first because the prices were quite high, and I was like, how can I learn just a few desserts for so amount, you understand? But after a little convincing here and there, I finally agreed to join the class, and it has been the best investment I ever made. I took the class for just 4 days. The class was 4 days. I was surprised actually to learn that much in 4 days, because when I had the class was 4 days, I was like, how can I learn so many things in just 4 days? But it was kind of like a crash program. We went very early, around 10, and we closed around 4. So all we did in that time was to bake the desserts, presentation and all. We actually learned a lot in that 4 days. So when I took my class, she was actually trying to have a general class, not a private class. It was a general class. A lot of people were registering, and I didn't take it alone. We were quite much that we took it. I've been in the desserts business for about 4 years now, but before the desserts business, I was into catering, small chops, drinks and all. So I've been into that since 2017 actually. Yeah, then later on I introduced desserts to the business. It has been the best decision, because as I grew into the business, I began to like it. Like, I had passion for it. I am very creative with my hand actually. Since before the desserts, my friends used to advise me that you're very good in the kitchen, why not make money out of it? So eventually after I decided to start making desserts, I began to love it because I was being creative. It brought out the creative part of me. It has contributed to my business in so many ways. Like for example, for starters, I didn't have to pay any graphic designer to design my logos, my stickers and all. I did all by myself. And even my classes, when I'm taking classes, I design my certificates myself. Anything that has to do with designing or computer based, I do them myself. So it has saved me a lot of money, because that was what what I studied in the university: software development, web designing and all. Like, there is money there. Both careers are time consuming. They cannot be joined. The tech aspect requires a lot of time and commitment. So also the baking aspect. So I don't think I can combine both. The way the supply of power here is very poor, and with the nature of products we do, we actually need a lot of power to refrigerate our products, because they are very delicate and power sensitive. Another challenge is deliveries, because we don't use dispatch riders for deliveries because of the nature of our product. So we opt for more expensive options like Bolt, Uber, which are kind of a turn off for our customers because of their high prices. So yeah, I've also lost a lot of customers because of delivery fees. I've taught over 200 people, both online and offline. I have physical classes and I have online classes. I also have an ebook where I compiled all my favorite recipes in one book for both cakes and desserts. Yeah, so that is mainly for those that want to upgrade their recipe game and all. It's also suitable for beginners. I pre-record the videos. Like, I make videos of me making all the desserts, different desserts at different times, and then we use the Telegram platform for the class. When the time of the class is due, I upload the videos to the group. I create a group on Telegram where all the students that have paid for the class are added, and then when the time of the class is due, I upload all the videos to the class, and I give room for question and answers. After watching the videos, if there's any question anyone wants to ask, or where to source products, it's like a group discussion, you understand, a closed group where we discuss everything regarding what is taught in the class. That's the whole essence of taking a class. You learn. Yes, and after you learn, you evolve. You just don't practice what you learned. With time, you get to introduce new things to your products, which is what makes them stand out. So after I took my dessert class, I started the desserts, but I wasn't really enjoying them. So I was thinking, how can I sell this when I myself wasn't really into them? So I sat down and I thought, our taste buds, like most desserts are foreign, you understand. They are made, they are usually consumed by white people. So I realized that my taste buds and personally my taste buds are different from, especially when I go to restaurants. There are certain foods I don't enjoy, so like international food. So I decided to introduce new flavors into my desserts that will match my taste buds, and I realized that my taste buds are similar to people around me. So I thought maybe it's a Nigerian thing. We love flavors, you know, and spices and all. So I decided to add some things and omit some things from the recipes I learned from my class, and that has worked perfectly for me. For the online class is 3 days, but after the class ends, I usually leave the group open, and anyone that is willing to join will just make payment and I'll add the person to the group. So the people that pay for the class after the class has taken place, they are just going to meet some pre-recorded videos in the group, and if they watch the videos, if they have any question, they'll just drop it in the group and I'll answer it, or any of the group members that knows the answer to the question will answer it. Most of the materials are not made in Nigeria. Sometimes they are very scarce. You have to jump from one shop to the other before you get them. And sometimes I even have to buy from another country. It takes a lot to do that, and that's why most times the prices of the desserts are quite on the high side because of the ingredients we use, the services actually. Before we get the end result, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of stress to create something. So that's why the prices are quite on the high side. A lot of people, after taking the desserts, they refer us to their family, their friends, and their colleagues. I see myself well established with proper structure for my business. I want my business to grow to the extent that it can run by itself even if I'm not around. I also want to own a delivery vehicle that will ease all my delivery problems. It used to be only me, but you know, with growth, as I was growing, I needed help because it was overwhelming at some point. I had to take a break. The stress was too much. So I had to employ someone to do the basic things. But when it comes to the creative aspect, I do it alone. I can't trust anyone to do that. My business, the business I chose actually for now, I'm a home baker. So I work from home. I get to have time for my family, for myself, and for my business. So it doesn't require me to really spend long hours outside and all. So I don't think it has really affected my business. You know, when I started, I actually made a lot of desserts for free. I took it to some family gatherings, so that just looking for customers. Maybe if someone tries it, he might want to buy it someday. But after a while, I realized that all the people close to me thought that my desserts were expensive. So I had a change of mindset. I said, okay, I'll stop targeting the people close to me, because most businesses, when they start, they target their family and friends. They are the first people that people reach out for support. So after I realized they weren't my target market, I stopped advertising my desserts to them. I changed, I used the Instagram platform to reach my potential customers. Those that, because dessert is not a necessity, you know. It's not like food that everyone needs. It's like luxury. So I realized that it's not for everybody, and not everybody is my target market. So I started targeting the people that needed the services, that were interested, and the people that weren't concerned about the prices. They knew what they were getting. They knew they were getting luxury, and yeah, I started targeting those kinds of people, and it has worked perfectly. Though some people sometimes, even on Instagram, they complain about the prices, but I try to convince them. Like even in dessert, some people use low quality ingredients, you understand? They use low quality ingredients, thereby making their products cheaper than other people's. So if you know the kind of products you produce, if you know the kind of ingredients you use, you know the value of what you're producing. So you can easily turn the complainers into buyers. Each one has its customers, but I'll say generally cake has the most customers, because cake is what people need and use like almost every day, for birthdays, for weddings, for bridal showers, for any event you can use cake for it. So I think cake in general has the most customers. As for desserts, there are occasional things, like maybe when you're having an intimate event or you're having a high class event, that's when mostly you need dessert. It's not an everyday thing. I've never been in a position to explain that, because most people that buy dessert from me already know what they are buying. A person that doesn't know what dessert is will not buy dessert, because he'll see it as a waste of money. Like just a cup of something will cost you so amount, you understand? So he wouldn't even go near that. That's why we have the option of cakes and we have the option of desserts. Anyone that comes to my page will see that we make cakes and we make dessert. So if he doesn't know what dessert is, they mostly go for the cakes. So I've never been in a position to explain to anyone what dessert is actually. When I wanted to start this business, after paying for my class, after learning desserts and all, when I wanted to start, I started with 50,000 naira. I didn't have any money with me then, so I had to borrow 50,000 naira from someone, and I started with it. With time, just get the major things you need. Don't just go into the market and start buying anything you see. Sit down, make a list of the things you're going to need. Arrange them in such a way that put the most important ones on the on top. So start with the most important ones. Along the way, you're going to be stocking up all you need for the business. It's not just a one-time thing. It's a gradual process. It's a process. And if you're going into a business, don't go into a business with the aim of making profit at first. You are not going to make any profit at first, because all your investment is going to go back into the business. So you are going from the profit you are making, you are not going to be spending anything, just reinvest it into the business. And as with time, you are going to grow. So you just don't go with the mindset of making profit immediately. It doesn't work like that. It's really stressful. It's not easy. If I'm being honest, it's not easy, but I have the most supportive family. I have the most supportive husband. I have the most supportive siblings. I have the most supportive parents. So they try as much as possible to make things easy for me. I have helps, though the helps are not reliable, because it's from one issue to the other. Today, you have someone, tomorrow, he's not there. So you just have to manage your time. Everything needs planning. When it's time for the kids, it's time for the kids. When it's time for business, it's time for business. And also, I try not to overwhelm myself with others. I do just what I know I can, in order to give my family my maximum time, and in order not to disappoint my customers. It's important, actually, but it takes a lot of funding and flexibility. I've always wanted to take a professional course, but I've not been flexible because, family and the kids, my kids are still coming up. They're very small. I had them very close, like maybe I had my first kid, then after a year and a half, I had my second kid, and after a year and a half, I had my third kid. So they are very young. I cannot do anything I want without putting them into consideration. So I would advise anyone, if anyone has the funds and has the means and is flexible enough to take a professional course, I would highly recommend that. And I myself am also looking forward to taking a professional course in the future. My advice for upcoming entrepreneurs is to be really good at what they do, to be honest, to be reliable, because reliability is key. Keep to time. Most business owners, they don't keep to time. So they should be reliable in such a way that if someone wants something, he knows that for sure he's going to get it from you and on time. So they should be reliable, they should be honest, they should be strong, because doing business in Nigeria is not for the weak. One has to be very strong. So they should be strong, they should be resilient, they should be able to face any challenge that comes their way. They should be unique, they should try to be unique, to stand out from the crowd. They should be consistent. Consistency is key. Anything you're doing, don't start something and leave it along the way. Once you start something, once you put your mind to something, make sure you reach your goal. Be consistent, and they should be prayerful.
About this recipe, easy and all.
It's easy actually.
It's not as tedious as baking.
Yes. Yes, it's not. But it's time consuming. You have to, like these ones, I made them beforehand. Yeah. So, yes. So this is our strawberry cheesecake. This is classic cheesecake with strawberry compote, topped with whipped cream and fresh strawberries and sprinkles. This is mango classic cheesecake with mango compote topping, topped with whipped cream, fresh strawberry and sprinkles. This is another classic cheesecake with strawberry topping.
With this, we have come to the end on today's episode. I hope that you were able to learn one or two, and I hope that you had fun, because I sure did have fun today. And if you are a dessert lover, I hope that you enjoyed this episode and you were able to learn the process of making desserts. Join us next time on another interesting episode on Showcase. My name is Rahina Shehu Abdullahi. Bye for now.